Good evening, groovy citizens, and happy Winning Wednesday. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. My day has been good. It's been very good. I have no complaints whatsoever. Other than I probably could be on the beach somewhere relaxing, but hey, it is what it is. Otherwise, today has been great. And like I said, I hope you all have had a great day. I did wake up this morning, and you all are very familiar with Sam Cooke's song, A Change Is Gonna Come. I don't know why that song was just on my mind when I woke up this morning. So I don't know what change that is for myself and for you all as well, but I do believe a change is going to come. Now, before I jump into today's topic, I want to ask that you keep in prayer my significant other. I told you all his mom passed away week before last, and so her service will be held on tomorrow. And so I definitely want to keep not only myself, but him and his family and everyone that knew his mom in your prayers, because I've told you all before, to know her was to love her. And I dearly will miss our conversations where we can talk about everything under the sun. And also, I want to ask that you keep in prayer a friend of mine who is going to have a second knee replacement January the 11th. And sadly, it's on the same knee. So just keep him in your prayers, because I'm pretty sure that is not something that anybody would look forward to. I've not had knee replacement, but I've watched both my parents have it. And my mom, she had hers April of this year. And so it's, it can be, it's not necessarily, well, it can be a long road to recovery depending on the individual. But as they're going through it, it is very painful. And so I just ask that you all just, keep him. His name is Corey. Keep him in your prayers. Now, let's jump into today's topic, which is how to deal with disrespect. Now, I know y'all are saying, girl, we don't need to be told how to deal with disrespect. We know how to handle it. I know y'all know how to handle it. But I'm going to give you 10 ways that you can handle disrespect in such a way that you not only keep your composure, but you end up looking like the bigger person. So we all face situations where we feel disrespected, and this can be extremely upsetting and frustrating. So here are some practical principles that can help you confront disrespect in a wiser and more graceful way. Number one, stay calm. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but rather by how we interpret what happens to us. I'm going to say that one more time, because somebody said, do what now? We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but rather by how we interpret what happens to us. So when someone disrespects us, it reflects their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions. This is why we need to stay calm and not allow disrespect to affect our emotional state. Now, I get it, y'all. I get it, because we all, my glasses feel like they're off-centered or something. I get it. We all have been disrespected. And when someone disrespects you, you snap, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. I don't know who they think they're playing with, but I am not the one. We've all been down that road, and we all will go down that road again, because we are work in progress. But as I thought about that, I said, well, you know what? I guess there is some truth to that. I'm not necessarily, upset by what you said, but it could be the way I interpreted what you said, okay? So just, stay calm. When somebody disrespects you, don't be so quick to fly off the handle. Stay calm, keep your composure, and have that conversation. Y'all know what I mean with that individual. Number two, reflection on self. The quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our lives, and it is our duty to constantly strive to improve ourselves and our actions. When we face disrespect, we must ask ourselves if there is any truth to what the person and or people have said or did to us. Now, let me unpack that just for a quick minute. Sometimes we are frustrated and we feel disrespected because somebody told us the truth about ourselves. Am I right? And so that's why it is so important to reflect on yourself. Now, there are many times when people say things and they do disrespect us and we didn't have it coming, It wasn't warranted, nor was it necessary. I mean, well, that was the same thing, but you know what I mean? We didn't deserve that. But other times, people say things, and so we have to ask ourselves, is there some truth in what this person is saying? So, in other words, let's say you have been disrespecting and treating someone like crap, right? And they get tired of dealing with your stuff, and they call you on the carpet about it. Now, the way they say it, the words they choose, you don't like it, so you feel disrespected because they've called you out and called you a loudmouth bully. Now you feel disrespected, but if you really stop and think, are you a loudmouth bully? And chances are you have been to that person, and that's why they are coming at you the way they are, because they're tired of your crap. Come on, somebody. So think about what that person is saying and ask yourself, is what they're saying true? Because if it is, you've got to accept that. See, what it is we don't like to be called on the carpet. So we want to go for the jugular of the person that called us out on our stuff, because we feel like they disrespected us. Who are they to tell me how I should act or what I should say? But you don't stop and think about that when you act and do what you do to that person. I'm just saying. And then we must also ask ourselves if we contributed any way to the situation. So let me unpack that real quick. So when someone disrespects us, or so we think, we have to ask, did we play a part in that? What did we do and or say to make them do or say what they said? Because I think this is a vicious cycle. We say and do things that people don't like. They say and do things because they don't like what you said. So now you've got this game that you're playing, that you don't like what they said because they don't like what you say. And you see what I'm saying? So we've got to ask ourselves, did we contribute in any way to the situation? Doing this will promote our personal growth and wisdom. We can also learn from the incident. Number 3, learn to pause. We must learn not to react impulsively, especially when we are angry. How we react can lead to poor decisions and unnecessary suffering. Also, pause to collect your thoughts. Again, when people say and or do things that we don't like, and we fly off the handle just like that, we oftentimes will say things and or do things, and then later on we regret them. Because we all have done it, and you say, dang, you know what, I didn't like what they said, but I wish I had not have said that. Because here's the thing, you can go back and apologize, you can, and they can choose to accept it, but it's not going to change the fact that you said it. Once something leaves your mouth, you can't take it back. So I am always, and the older I get, I'm learning to pause for the cause and think about what I'm going to say. Because once I say it, I can't take it back. I can apologize for it, and I can move on and never let it happen again. But the fact still remains that I said something that was hurtful and was very ugly to somebody. Just like the incident I shared with you all with the guy that dumped the trash. Now my garage, you can't see it, is right here, where at the edge of my driveway. But when he dumped the trash, he put my trash can in front of my neighbor's house. Now, because all the trash cans look alike, all I asked was which one of the trash cans was mine, and he flew. Well, actually, initially my mom asked him, and I heard this going back and forth, so I came outside to see what was going on, and I said, well, all my mom asked you was which trash can is ours. Tell me which one it is so I can get it and bring it in the yard. That's all. And he's going on, and he's like, because you don't know me, you don't know what I've been through and what I'm dealing with. And the fact that he was nasty, his whole tone and his body language, I just didn't like. Oh, I went off. So my thing is, he's acting a fool, and I'm acting a fool right along with him. And that was my first mistake. I should not have allowed his reaction to cause me to act the way I did. So I said to him, I said, well, I don't know what you're going through. I don't. But at this moment, I don't really care. Now that I meant. I shouldn't have said it, but I did mean it. I said, all I want to know is which trash can belongs to this address. And he's still going on and on. So the other guy, he told me which one it was, and I went and got it. So the guy, he's running off at the mouth, and we going back and forth, and I'm getting upset, and I done took the glasses off. Now, you know, when I take the glasses on, it's getting ready to be on and popping. So I took my glasses off. I said, let me tell you something. What I'm not going to do is stand here and go back and forth with your little ignorant so-and-so. And so I said, well, what you trying to do? And then nothing stopping us but space and opportunity. That's all we have right now. And I mean, it's heated. We going back and forth. My mom kept saying, Shell. I said, nah, he wasn't down there and run his mouth. He's probably about 4 feet tall. But if I had been paying attention, I would have seen the look of frustration in his eyes. I could tell that something was really hurting him. He was going through some stuff, but in that moment, I got caught up with his being disrespectful, and I gave him what he was giving me. And I said to myself after the fact, I said, now, Michelle, you could have been the bigger person. You could have been the bigger person and just let it go. I could have said, you know what? I'm not sure what's going on with you, but do you mind if I pray for you? I could have done so many different things. So yes, I was a little angry with myself because I reacted the way I did. And I know I'm better than that. So that's why it's so important to learn to just pause. Because if you don't, you are going to be tempted to say things that you, like I said, can apologize before, but you can't take back. Number 4, show empathy. Seek to understand the motives and emotions of others. When we understand the other person's perspective, that can lead to better personal interactions and relationships. The next time you are disrespected, try to put yourself in that person's shoes and understand their perspective. Doing this will help you see things from a different angle. You may find that the disrespect wasn't personal or even intentional. Sometimes the disrespect is due to the other person's fears, insecurities, or just plain ignorance. And unfortunately, that happens quite often. So I am, like I said, as the older I get, I'm learning that sometimes people speak from a place of just ignorance, just because they don't know any better. You know what I mean? Or they haven't thought through whatever's going on with them. And sometimes it is out of fear, and sometimes it is out of their own insecurity. So if I empathize, that's what I was trying to say. Sorry, sometimes I can't read my own right. But if I empathize with them, then I can understand that, like the guy with the trash can issue, if I had put myself in his shoes and saw things from his perspective, then I would have seen or paid more attention, I should say, to whatever was going on with him. And I know y'all thinking, but Michelle, that wasn't your job. That's not your responsibility. No, it's not. But I will say this, as a child of God, I am called to minister to other people when they're going through some stuff. Honey, let me tell you something. I will quickly ask someone, do you mind if I pray for you? Now, they can say yes or they can say no. More times than not, people are going to say yes. And then I can pray with them and try to make their situation a lot better. So, number 5, focus on virtue. Wisdom and courage help us to live well and act correctly. Understand, I'm not saying we should tolerate disrespect in any way, shape, or form. Please understand that's not what I'm saying. Never should you tolerate disrespect, okay? But I'm simply saying that we should respond in a way that reflects our values. Virtue will also keep us from responding in a way that is not us. We should always strive to be the best version of ourselves, even in challenging situations. And again, going back to the gentleman with the trash can, I should have focused on my own virtue. In that moment, no, I did not. I probably put it up on a shelf somewhere, but I did not, and I should have, because then I could have responded in a way that was truly me. And said, Michelle, you know what? You need to always strive to be the best version of you possible. And in that particular moment, I was not the best version of me. I just wasn't. And after the fact, I did think, then would God be pleased, or is God pleased with how you treated that young man or talked to him? Because, honey, I'm trying to tell you, I can be very honest with you. I've always been honest and transparent with you all. He was everything under the sun. He was every name that I can think of and some that I even made up. I even went in my back pocket, okay? And in the back pocket, that's where I keep the F-bomb. And I'm not happy about it, but I'm just saying in that moment, I allowed somebody to take me to a place that I should not have gone if I had just put into practice the things that I'm sharing with you all. Number 6, embrace acceptance. So we have all been taught to accept things that are not in our control. It doesn't mean we have to like them. Understand that. I'm not saying that you have to like it, but sometimes, you need to accept that that person is who they are. You need to accept that right now it's 67 degrees and it's been kind of chilly all day. You need to accept that we are in the fall season, getting ready to jump into the winter season in a couple of months. You need to accept that we're going into a new year in a few months. You need to accept that this year is almost over. You need to accept the things that you've done or not done. And the list can go on and on and on, but you've got to embrace it. But like I said, I wanted to make it clear that I'm not saying that you have to like things, but you do have to accept them. We can control our own thoughts, feelings, and actions by not letting others' behavior dictate what we say and or do. So when dealing with disrespect, never allow it to affect your inner peace. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, if you don't remember anything else I tell you, I need you to understand that do not allow anybody's disrespect. It doesn't matter if it's your family, your friends, your co-workers, your neighbors, the bum on the corner, your enemy. It doesn't matter. Don't ever allow their disrespect affect your inner peace. And the day that I got into it with the man about the trash can, that disturbed my whole inner peace. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I was pissed off about that for hours. And then finally I had to let it go because it was eating away at me. I shared with you all before about a guy that I dated and that broke up with me not once but twice for somebody else, and the second time I was done with it. And I allowed his betrayal and hurting me to affect me, and it affected my inner peace. And at this time, when I really made peace with it, we had been apart for, I'm gonna say 5 years, 5-6 years at that point. And one day I just woke up and said, Michelle, okay, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Let that go. That man is gone on with his life. He's doing whatever else he's doing. He's probably not even thinking about you. And every time you see his name someplace or you think about what happened, you get pissed off over again. Let it go, sweetie. I had to make peace with the fact that I could not change what happened. And I allowed what he did to control my inner peace. And I decided from that day, when I forgave him, not for him, but for me, that I would never again allow anything or anyone to disturb my inner peace. I just won't do it. And I'm encouraging you not to do that either. Number 7, use humor. Sometimes we just can't take things too seriously. Humor can help us avoid being overly emotional with our reactions. You ever notice that some people are really good at that? I'm not, but some people are really good at that. When the situation gets a little tense and heated, they can use a little humor and it'll kind of quell everything. You know, that's a good trait to have, and that will help you to, again, not say some things that you may regret later. Number 8, set clear limits. We don't need to accept disrespect passively. We can be calm and assertive as we communicate clearly and effectively what we consider unacceptable. We must at all times communicate our boundaries firmly and fairly. Let me unpack that real quick. Essentially what I said is that when somebody disrespects you, you've got to be clear. I mean crystal clear as these lenses are on these glasses. You've got to be clear with people about what you will tolerate and what you will not. You've got to be clear with people when you say, you know what, I'm not sure who you're used to talking to, but I will not be talked to in that manner. I will tell people quick, I will respect you, and I ask that you do the same. Because just like God is no respect of persons, neither is Michelle. I don't care what your job title is. I don't care who you know. I don't care where you live, what your salary is, what you drive, how many kids you have, whether you're married or not. None of that matter. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. If you're disrespectful to me, I'm going to give it the same way you give it. Now, I know some of y'all saying, but Michelle, you just said, I know what I said. But see, what I've also learned in life is that you can tell people what you want. My stomach is growling, y'all. You can tell people what you want, what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate. And some people will hear you and they'll follow it. Others, they'll hear you and they'll treat you the way they want to treat you. But what I found is when that happens, if you treat people the way they treat you, what's that old saying? Tell a person what you want and they just ignore it. But treat them the way they treat you and then they get it. See, because when you treat them the way they treat you, they don't like it. They're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold up now. I'm not going to be treated this way. And that's when you can say, okay, this is exactly what you do to me. So now you see how it feels. So that's why I said it's so important to set clear limits. You've got to set your boundaries and you've got to be firm and fair, of course, when you tell people what you will and won't put up with. Number 9, choose forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful tool when it comes to dealing with disrespect. Always remember that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It's not about the other person. I'm going to say that again. Forgiveness is a gift that we give ourselves. It's not about the other person. Forgiveness is, as I told you in that relationship, forgiveness is so that I can move on, so that you can move on, so that we can move on with our lives. When you don't forget, all you're doing is holding on to whatever that thing is. And so y'all know, I've shared this with you before, when your hands are closed with all that anger and that frustration, God can't bless you with something else because your hands are full of all the anger and the frustration. But as soon as you forgive, you open up your hands and you release whatever that thing is, and God can now bless you because your hands are open and available to receive something new. Okay? Number 10, last but not least. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. I think I stopped. Where did I stop? Hold on. Oh, it's a gift that you forgive yourself, not others. So forgiveness is the key to your inner peace and happiness. Forgiveness may not always be easy because it's not going to be, but it's necessary. Keep that in mind. Forgiveness is not always easy to do, but it is necessary. So keep in mind, just because you forgive someone, listen carefully, it doesn't mean that you've forgotten. Just because I forgive you for what you've said or what you've done, it doesn't mean that I forgot what you did or how you made me feel. What they did or what happened, doesn't mean that you've forgiven what they did or what happened. Sorry, I cut my sentence off. You are choosing to release the burden of anger or resentment and move forward with a sense of inner peace. Simple as that. When I choose to forgive you, doesn't mean I've forgotten what you've done, because I haven't forgotten what you've done. And I'm not walking around allowing it to disturb my inner peace either. I'm forgiving you because I'm letting it go, because I have to move on with life. But I'm going to keep you over here. You can't be over here, my inner circle, anymore, because I know the type of person that you are now. And again, this depends on what it is that person has done, and if you choose to. But for me, certain things that you say and do, it'll make me keep you at arm's length. I can still love you because I love all of God's children, but I have to keep you at arm's length because, see, now I don't trust you anymore. But the takeaway is that it doesn't mean that you've forgotten what they did or how they made you feel. It just means that you're releasing all of that pent up anger and all of that, and you can move on with your life. Okay. And number 10, last but not least, change your perspective. So this helps us to avoid overreacting or taking things personally. Perspective allows us to choose to ignore, forgive, or learn from the situation rather than letting it upset us. Perspective also allows you to focus on what really matters in your life. which is your goals, your values, and your virtues. So we can use perspective to ensure we don't waste time or resentment and come up with a plan for revenge. It's all about perspective. Okay? And all this will be in the notes. So here's your takeaway. Using the principles that I shared with you will allow you to manage your emotions effectively, making you a stronger and more resilient person in the face of the challenges that life will present to you. Because the reality is that life will always present challenges. That's just, you are not going to make it through this life and not have any challenges. It's just, that's not the way we're wired. I've said this before, you can't have a testimony if you've not been tested. Come on, somebody. That's why you have the testimony, because you've been tested and you made it through whatever that thing was. It's the same thing with life's challenges. Every time, and understand this, I know it's not a Bible lesson, but understand this. Every time you go through something, God is right there in the center of it with you. God is right there with you. He's not, the word says he'll never leave us nor forsake us. God is right there with you. God knew that thing was coming long before you knew about it. He knew about it 10 years ago. He knows what's going to happen to you next year or what challenges you're going to face. He already knows, and he's right there with you, saying, whispering in your ear, hey, I got you. I'm right here with you. I'm not going to leave you. You can do this. I have faith in you. God will never put more on us than we can bear. I know it doesn't feel like it always, but God never gives you more than you can bear. And even if he does or decided to, he's right there with you. So all I want you all to take away from today's topic is what I opened up with, and that's dealing with disrespect. In life, you will find that people will try you. They will. People will try you. And you can respond with some of the keys that I shared with you today, or you can cuss folk out. The choice is yours. See, I would rather use some of the principles that I shared with you today as opposed to cussing you out. Now, the old me would have been all right with just cussing you out. And sometimes you just may have to, okay? Let me just, that's a choice that you're going to have to make, okay? And I'm going to leave that alone. But I just find that when you are the bigger person, do you know what that does to somebody? First of all, I think, okay, this is just me. I think, number one, it makes them think, wow, I said ABCXYZ, and they responded in a way that I wasn't prepared for, okay? That confuses them. They're not going to tell you that, but it confuses them. But also, when you use the tools that I gave you, it lets them see that they didn't get under your skin. As a matter of fact, you done taught them something. And you have them walking away feeling baffled and befuddled, okay? As my friend Mark likes to say. You do, because they weren't expecting you to respond that way. They were expecting you to go off on this wild tangent, but you came back with something different. So if you learn how to deal with disrespect, honey, not only will your inner peace feel good, but you're going to have that person learning something new. I'm trying to tell you. That's why we say your actions can teach other people a thing or two. Okay, always remember that. So we're always in the mode of teaching. Okay, whether you realize it or not, you are always teaching. So take every opportunity to do so. Now, as I say that, I'm going to bid you all good day, because my stomach is growling. I hope you all couldn't hear it, but it is. So I need to go find me some nourishment. And for those of you that are asking, am I cooking? No, I'm not. Oh, but wait a minute, real quick. I bought me some cranberries from the grocery store yesterday. So this weekend, I will be doing, probably on Sunday, I will be doing another cooking video. I know it's been a while. Folks keep asking me, Michelle, when you going to do another video? Well, Sunday I will be doing a cooking video showing you guys how to make homemade cranberry sauce. So this is going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting, but I'm up for the challenge, okay? I really am. So having said that, I want you all to, I lost my train of thought because I was thinking about what I'm going to eat, and that's sad. Let me stay focused. Having said that, Hopefully something I said resonates with you and helps you to deal with the disrespect that you may have to deal with on your job, again, in your home, wherever it may be. I've given you 10 things that you can use to deal with that. Now, if you're new to watching my video, I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is not your first time rodeo, I want to say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there, enjoy the rest of your evening. Whatever you do, wherever you go, I just ask that you be safe. Watch your surroundings and just be safe, because I want you to come back here so I can speak life into you yet again on Friday. And also, if you're new, I do car conversations every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So come on back on Friday where I have another motivational topic for you and do what I like to do, speak life into everyone that I come in contact with. Now, having said that, I love you all. I love you to the moon and back. You know the drill, you know the spill. There's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can ever do about it, because it's never going to change. It just isn't. I'm going to love you no matter what. I'm going to love you when you're going up and when you're coming down, when you're going in and when you're coming out. You can always count on the fact that I have your back, that I love you, and my job is to do nothing but motivate and encourage you. That's what I'm here for. My channel is not about tearing anybody down. It's to motivate and encourage. Love you all, and we will talk again on Friday.